Remembering the Lily, written by Moardin and read by Sterling Wolfe. I never knew the sun could feel so warm. That probably sounds silly, doesn't it? Well, I'm from Invale. It's a big city, and most of us work in factories. The city's surrounded by mountains, too, tall ones. Well, it's nice for the mines. We get a lot of our factory resources there. It's not great for the air quality. The smog from the factories gets trapped. The sky isn't like how it is out here. It's kinda orange and dull. The sun's a dim spot in the sky. I've never seen the stars either. The streetlights are too bright and the sky's too cloudy. Living in Invale is pretty bleak. I wanted. No, needed. I needed to leave. And the job shortage helped me do that. Invale's filling up. It's more crowded than ever, and the factories are filled. There's more cities like it in the mountain range, but they have the same problem. So, the nation decided to expand. So we blasted holes in the mountains and built train lines out here to the frontier. It took me a few months to finally be accepted. There's not much demand for people like me. I didn't do well in the academies, I've never been able to get a job before. I know I'm pretty young, but most people nest and start working somewhere by 16, and I'll be turning 20 in a month. Yesterday, I finally received a letter in the mail telling me to show up to the train station. They handed me an axe and put me on a train out here. The train was pretty loud, and it took a while to get to the mountains. Before that, I hugged my dads and got on. They were pretty upset to see me go, but they also seemed hopeful. They were happy that I'd finally get to leave and breathe some actually fresh air. I watched their faces fade away as the train pulled away from the station. That's when I heard the noises. Metal wheels under the train grinding against the rails. Occasionally rocks fell from the ceilings as the train shook the tunnels. It sounded like heavy rain on a thin metal roof, but louder, like an explosion. I tried to take a nap on the train ride. The tunnels were dark enough where the train didn't have a lot of lights. I had trouble falling asleep the way the train shook and the loud banging every time one of those rocks fell, and it woke me up if I did manage to rest. Oh well. After a few hours, we finally left the mountains. I remember seeing the light ahead of us before we left the tunnel, and then being blinded for a few moments when we broke out. As soon as I could see again, I stared out at the horizon. It sounds stupid too, I know, but I've I've never seen so much grass. Invale doesn't have a lot of parks, and the one we do have are pretty small. Like the size of a small house, and I mean small. So, I think it's reasonable that I just stared out the window. The window was small, so I was only able to see grass and forest most of the way. But still, I was mesmerized. Everything was so vibrant. I've never seen green things before, like the canal next to 8th Street, but that's different. The color in the leaves and grass might be the same as that sludge, but you you can feel the life in it. I didn't even notice the train stops until they told me to get off. As soon as I stepped off onto the grass, I knew this was where I belonged. I took my first breath and I felt free. The air here feels easy to breathe. Compared back in the city, I feel more energetic. Maybe it's the sun. I could feel it beating down on me, a gentle warmth kissing my cheeks. Then I looked up at the sky. The sun is so much brighter here. I kind of looked too long, honestly. I couldn't see for a few minutes after. I rubbed my eyes until the big spot in my vision went away. Then I saw the clouds here. Remember the smog I mentioned? That's the closest thing to a cloud I've ever seen. But what's better was the sky. The smog is constant. The clouds were fluffy. Like a small animal, it looked like you could just lay down and fall asleep in them. But the blue of the sky? I felt myself getting lost in it. There were a few of us just staring at the sky. I ended up dropping my axe into the grass as I stared up. Then I saw the forest. That was part of the job, actually. We were supposed to clear portions of the forest so the city could expand. This was all supposed to become factories and housing one day. It's. I guess I thought it was cool, being part of a massive change, proving the power of mankind, our ability to change landscapes on a whim with our own hard work. That said, I think I'd miss these breaths, unburdened, easy, and natural. Part of me wishes we'd turn this into a massive garden or something instead. Back home, when I was little, my dad's gave me a potted plant to take care of. It was a little flower. I forget what kind, but it was a white flower. I remember that much. It was pretty special to me. It was unlike anything else in the city. It was soft, not like the paved streets or the pipework surrounding the factories. It was almost like a pet to me. It didn't live long though. It ended up withering away less than a week after I got it. I watered it and everything, but the air wasn't clean enough, I guess. Out here I can probably grow as many of those as I want. Instead, I was out here chopping trees so we can build more. I was able to admire this place for a few minutes before the supervisor showed up. He showed us around camp. There's a bunch of tents for us to sleep on, and they're building an actual building for us to sleep in. Apparently, an earlier group had put our camp together, including clearing a section of the forest to make room for it. After the tour, they told us to start clearing this area of trees. So I listened. I took my axe and started swinging. I wasn't really thinking about anything except for the fact I'd actually be able to make a living. That was my job. I'm a laborer and I was doing my job. It was kind of freeing. A free rider like me finally getting a job, even if it is as a laborer, it's a big deal. Or at least it is to me, so I worked my hardest. Whenever I was done chopping a tree, I took a deep breath, and the fresh air made me feel ready to do it all again. Then as the sun reached the highest point in the sky, I saw her. Now, I've seen elves before, there's tons in Invale. A few of my friends from school were elves too, but this one felt different. She had bright green hair full of flowers, and she was dressed in clothes made of leaves. She was. Okay, look, I'm not interested in her or anything, but she was beautiful. It was like magic, and no, I don't mean I was charmed. I said like magic, not that it was magic. Even I can tell the difference. I saw her walking through the woods picking fruits, so I called out to her in Elven, of course. I was trying to tell her that this area was marked to be cleared out, and she just stared at me. It was haunting. I approached her, and again, I told her it was a bad idea to stay here. I got too close, I guess, and she just slapped me and yelled that these woods were her home. As I lay in the dirt, she walked away. I haven't seen her since. When I volunteered to come out here and clear the forest, I was told it was uninhabited. No one was supposed to live here, but there's her and all of you. After meeting her, I sat there for a while. I was just thinking. I didn't know what I was thinking, but I knew I felt awful. I thought about her again. I wondered if, when she was a kid, had she ever played in one of the trees I'd cut down. It's a leap, I know, but it's what I thought of. I might have overreacted, I know. Um, any of the others would have just gone back to work, but me? I dragged myself up and brought my axe back to the camp. Supervisor asked me what I was doing at camp early. I told her I pulled a muscle swinging my axe. It's a lame excuse, I know. It was all I could think of. She told me to leave my axe in camp and go for a walk. I guess I was in the way or something. An hour or so of wandering later, and I ended up getting lost. I didn't expect to run into Morphe. I was trying to find my way back when I saw a glowing white baby deer. It looked at me and ran away. Every once in a while I looked back to see if it was following. Or it looked back to see if I was following. Sorry, it's been a long day. It wanted me to follow. I was sure of it. And that's how I ended up here. Is that enough? I can explain more, but the sun's starting to set. I don't want to miss my chance to see the stars.